Hello everyone, welcome back to Ready Resilience. Right now it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and today I want to talk a little bit about being tired and getting tired when you have a traumatic brain injury. Alright, the purpose of today's video is just to give you an idea that fatigue and getting tired easily is a possibility for those with traumatic brain injury. It's a very common thing for those who have had a traumatic brain injury to feel exhausted or tired, and there's many reasons that you could be fatigued after having a traumatic brain injury. And the fatigue can vary in different ways. And so I started out the video telling you what time it is, and for me it is right now 3:25. And usually, and I'm way past mental and physical exhaustion, and that's usually the case for me almost every day. And so some of the reasons you may get exhausted and tired is depression, anxiety, overtaxing of the brain. There's several reasons, but as for me, I know because of the extent of my brain injury, and I know because again I've had this thing for 10 years now, dealing with these different symptoms. I know that my brain was damaged in certain areas that causes this fatigue and being tired. I remember right after my brain injury, I was just so exhausted all the time. I was so tired, and it was just a difficult time to even try to get anything accomplished. I know when I first got the traumatic brain injury, it sounds so weird to say got the traumatic brain injury, but when the incident first occurred, and I don't even think I could really call it one incident. It was 4 different incidents, but there was the fourth one was a major incident. But I can remember right after, I couldn't even lay my head down on a pillow. It was so hard. It felt like my brain was a blood blister, and if I laid my head down, it just felt like my head was just going to pop at any time. And that's the way it is with a blood blister. You push on it and it's going to pop if you put enough force on it. That's what my brain felt like, or my head felt like. And I was just so exhausted right after, and I slept most of the time. I gained a lot of weight at that time, and as time went by, I started being able to do more. But I think I'm at a point now, 10 years later, I'm at a point where I can pretty much guess my schedule. And my schedule is, by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm tired. I'm not only mentally exhausted, but I just feel physically exhausted as well. And make all of my appointments in the morning. I do any work that I do, it's all in the mornings, and very rarely will I plan anything in the afternoons unless I'm able to get a nap first, and then I'll plan it for after that. There are a few afternoon things that I do, but I plan ahead for those, and that's why I have talked about time management before, especially for those who have traumatic brain injury. You have to plan ahead, and you have to have good time management. And within that time management, you have to get good sleep. You have to do things in chunks throughout the day. And like I explained, I plan out these things, and I make sure that I do most of everything I do in the mornings. And if I do any physical activity, it's always in the mornings. And I do exercise because I had a heart incident that happened last year, and then several years ago when I was still real fat, because I was like way overweight. I had a heart incident then, but when I get tired like this, it's just, I'm not able to think clearly. I don't think like the word find is worse. It's more difficult to think. I can't concentrate. And so I would suggest, if you are feeling this fatigue, talk to your doctor, but also find out the reason why, because everybody's different. Not everyone is the same, and not every traumatic brain injury is the same. Not all the symptoms are the same. And I know I'm kind of slumped over here because, again, I'm just really tired, really exhausted. But that's why I planned this video this way, because it's difficult. But I want you, if you have a traumatic brain injury, to be aware that this is a symptom of it, but also it can be related to something else. Could, again, depression, anxiety, or whatever. But I know mine's due to overtaxing. There was some nerve damage done, and I had I didn't have just one part of my brain damaged. As you've seen in the first video, I hit my head forward, and my head went back during the blast, and there was a bar that was right behind my head. And then not only that, the blast waves, the shock waves came up through my vehicle, and I think there was some damage because of that. But again, I know for a fact my fatigue comes from the injury itself, and that's something you need to talk with your doctor and ask them for an evaluation. But it's not fun, but it is something that you can overcome. Again, when I use the word overcome, it's something that you can adapt to. It's not, you could still live a good life, and a fun life. You just have to plan ahead and not overtax yourself. Still go to parties, you can still do some work, you can still be productive and things of that sort, but you just have to plan ahead. I hope this video is making sense. Again, that's why I planned this video like this, so that you could really see how fatigue works with people with traumatic brain injury. But I can't stress enough for you to talk to your doctor about it. I think my next video will be talking a little more about this. I don't know if there's anything else that I could say about it. Maybe I could, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. If you want to know more about the fatigue and more about time management and dealing with this fatigue, I know for me it was really rough dealing with it at first, because I was a NCO in the military. I was what I would consider a fast tracker. I was a go-getter. I worked hard, and even today I still work hard, and I think sometimes I overwork, but I just I think we can, as long as we adapt and learn to live with these symptoms, I think we'll be a lot better off. And that's why I say again, talk to your doctor and figure out what it is. And until you figure out exactly what it is, and even after, you're going to have to use those time management skills. But again, I just wanted to make a video on fatigue and exhaustion after traumatic brain injury, and for me it's lasted over 10 years now. It's gotten less, but I don't know if it'll get any more less, but hopefully it isn't that way for you. Maybe you'll end up being able to overcome and be better over time, hopefully for you. But if you want to hear more about it, please comment below. Let me know if you still get tired, or do you get exhausted. And if this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Just trying to build a community here and trying to help people overcome and just bring traumatic brain injury awareness. Again, I know I've mentioned it in an earlier video. I'll be talking a little bit about PTSD later on, but with that being said, I will see you next video.